not exactly the nicest of situations.
We have to declare war on these rats. There's no other way. It's either going to be them or it's going to be us that wins.
The city of Swift Current spends the summer fighting rats. Armed and a little bit dangerous, reporter Scott Cunningham gets the chance to play soldier for a day.
Tigers players past and present are getting ready to head to NHL training camps. We'll tell you what they're thinking coming up in sports.
From Medicine Hat, this is the Prairie's Own Chat News.
I'm RHONDA CARLSON, and welcome to the Chat Evening News. Well, summer residents versus rats. Their invasion was sudden and severe. After months of very public complaining, the city is now taking action. Swift Current is using large amounts of poison and have hired nearly a dozen pest control officers. That is the plan to put an end to a very miserable summer in that city. Reporter Kyle Bax has the story from Swift Current.
It's Hollywood's creation of what a rat invasion could look like. But there's no need for fiction this summer, as a real-life infestation is happening in Swift Current.
Well, you know what? The rats have taken over our city. We've allowed them to come in since May when they first were sighted, and we've done precious little about it.
They're biting residents, harassing tourists, and jumping into people's vehicles.
There was one under the hood of my van. And they like going in there for some reason. They've been chewing up wires of other people's vehicles and stuff like that.
For Ike Reimer, it's become a morning routine to check on all the traps around his hotel. He spent hundreds of dollars to ensure no rats check in. He's using just about everything from high-tech battery-powered weapons to the classic wooden trap.
The bait is pretty well eaten, and so I do have some activity in the bush here. As a total from June the 4th, we're now 62. And some days we caught 3 to 4, one day it was 5.
Local pharmacist Don Robinson has had to secure every gap of his building, as he's already had a few scurry into the walls. Like many stores, the automatic doors to his pharmacy have been deactivated, yet another measure to keep the unwanted pests outside. Then there are the dozen bait traps he's set up as a perimeter surrounding his business.
We have kids going out with hockey sticks and inline skates and trying to slap shot them. We have to declare war on these rats. There's no other way. It's either going to be them or it's going to be us that wins.
The whole issue began here at the landfill just outside city limits. In the spring, the rat population kept growing and growing. City officials say the landfill operator didn't notify them of the problem until it was too late. The rat population had swelled and spilled over into the city.
We're fortunate enough to align ourselves with the provincial pest control officer. He immediately identified the landfill as a major source of the problem, and since then we've been heavily poisoning it.
That couldn't be more true. The thousands of rats at the dump have been eating 100 kilograms of poison every night. More burning of garbage is also taking place. Throughout the city, there is now a heightened effort by just about everyone to eradicate the problem as soon as possible. The fear is that the rats could look to make new homes when the temperature begins to drop.
They will be making their nests in our homes if we don't take care of it now.
Another worry is tourism. The city's image has taken a serious hit with all the rat-biting publicity. Not many want to vacation to a community overrun with rodents. City officials, though, see it differently.
We're not this community that, you got to be careful where you're stepping outside because you might step on a rat. That's not the case.
And so if this summer's infestation in Swift Current is anything like the movies, there's hope now for residents that the invasion is over. What's left is whether or not they'll get their happy ending.
You afraid of rats? Nah.
In Swift Current, Kyle Bax, Chat News.
So is there a chance that some of the rats could move west to Maple Creek and then into Alberta? Well, experts say the probability is slim. It's apparently too far a distance for them to travel on their own, so they would have to enter a person's vehicle or be in some bales that are being transported. So the chance of any rodent actually making its way to our area is unlikely, according to Cypress County officials.
There hasn't been anything that I've found. It's a pretty extensive search, searching bins, bales, all that stuff. It's kind of a pretty big search, so I haven't found nothing to worry about. Guys are pretty diligent. They bait on a regular basis when they put their bale stacks up, so if something was to slip in, there's already precautions already been taken.
Pest control officials in Cypress County say they don't use any sort of traps, just different forms of poison.